Hey, welcome back, YouTube. This is MTG Moxman. Sorry about that, a little bit of noise. Hold on, if you're new to the channel, I'm not normally like this. Yes, I am. I just gotta fix something. Hold on. Sorry, coming back around. I made it. All right, welcome back, YouTube. Now I'm out of breath. Look at that. I'm gonna be running around the basement here. Whew, at least it's not my parents' basement, right? Okay. We're going to talk Ikoria today. I hope you guys are in the mood for it. I have extensively played all weekend on Arena. So I have faced numerous types of decks this weekend. For those of you who didn't know, I made it to Mythic. I usually do. But in this case, I was specifically making it because Ikoria was coming. I wanted to see what things looked like. I like to try a lot of decks out. I didn't have every opportunity to try with what I wanted because I didn't have enough packs and enough cards. But I did get to play against a lot of people who pay to play. The term pay to play means they're willing to spend big bucks for the win. And that's where this is going to get funny. All right, let's bring this down a little bit. Okay. I'm not sure if a lot of you have played these decks right now. I don't know. Okay, I'll be honest. But the Ikoria decks I have faced had similar patterns and similar cards involved, especially the high-end guys. The guys who pay to play were using that Cyber Claw guy with the octopus dude who like makes you flip, bring a creature back, makes you flip, use Thassa, unsummon it, resummon it, and you just bring all these monsters in. Big thing, and the next turn you're dead. Or they cycle you out of cards, which is hilarious too. Now, I was at 85% in Mythic, percentile or whatever, when I started hitting these decks and they were just beating the living tar out of me. And I was kind of laughing because I couldn't, with the deck I was using, which was my Risen deck with Kinnan the Bonder Prodigy, which I was, I only have 2 Kinnan, I don't have everything I want in the deck. I was getting slaughtered, guys, like, take it out, because I could not face the deck and win. But I looked at the deck, and I really started watching how these decks worked. And they are fundamentally flawed if you know what you're doing. Okay? I'm saying if you want to beat them every time, the deck I built, and that's why I'm putting on YouTube for all of you today, the deck I built literally wins 75 to 80% of the time against those type of decks. Against other decks like a red speed deck, or let's say an Agent of Treachery deck, those control decks, counterspell decks, they are more hit and miss. Okay, red deck, I still come out about 60% win rate against those guys, whereas counterspell decks, depending on who draws first, because you really got to push their counterspells out early to have a go at it. Okay, but you can still cripple them, which is hilarious. So, I'm going to read this deck to you and explain myself. Tomorrow, I will put some game matches online of me using this deck, and I will comment during the matches so you can understand how this deck works. And by the way, if it works right now in Arena, it's going to work in Standard if you're playing it. So if you're a Standard player, this deck is inexpensive, like really inexpensive, and it wins a lot. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I just win after win. Sometimes I just get frustrated. So we're gonna explain. So I'm gonna edit my deck, so I have to read this all to you, and I'll put stuff up. Okay, so this is a white and black deck. Okay, it has 4 Birth of Meletis to help you get your Plains cards out, but also to get those 0/4 walls and get 2 life. Okay, it's kind of important in this deck. You don't really have any life gaining abilities, so you need to keep the life flowing. Okay, so you gotta get your Plains and stuff out, and have constant supply of land. You need that. Next one is the General's Enforcer. Now, the General's Enforcer is one of the new cards from this series. It says legendary humans you control have indestructible. Okay, but 1 black, 1 white, and 2 other. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 1/1 soldier token. Well, you need him in this deck. I don't care what you're doing, but you're trying to exile those creatures that are going to hurt you. You are exiling the Titan. Titan decks, you're going to take those apart. You're going to exile Titans. But usually he's not used right away. This card comes out mid-game. If you have to use him as a blocker, you got to throw him out there to get hit by, you know, some spell. But generally, I try to keep him in reserve. Okay. 2 of those. Next card is from, what is that, Alliance? Cry of the Carnarium. 2 black, 1 out of sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Exile all creatures and all graveyards that were put there to the battlefield this turn. Okay. So you notice it exiles them. I don't want things going to the graveyard. I don't want to trigger spell effects. I want them gone. And I don't want to worry about it. So, very, very nice. Okay, he's very good for getting rid of stuff, especially red decks you're going to face in Arena or you're going to face in the battlefield in your local LGS when they open again. Okay, 4 of them. Next, 4, Elspeth's Nightmare. 1 black, 2 other. This is a Saga card. 3 steps to the Saga card. 1, destroy target creature and opponent controlled power 2 or less. Helps you with the red decks. Okay, helps you at the beginning when they got that Robber the Rich nailing you. Or they have the little 1/1 haste first strike guy who gives all the guys +1/+0. Okay, part 2 though. This is for those blue counterspell guys out there. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from that, and that player discards that card. Okay, if they counter this, they're wasting a counterspell to counter the spell. But best off, if they let it go off, you get to see what's in their hands, so you kind of know where they're playing, and you can play your deck better for that. Now, stage 3 is exile target opponent's graveyard. For a lot of these meta decks, this is the best way to deal with it. Wipe the battlefield clean. Turn 3, this thing's taken out. Carnarium, put this out. Okay, you're going to wipe their stuff clean. That's the plan. Okay, and then generally it is working. People don't see this card as a threat, which is kind of weird, right? But anyway. Next, 4, Shatter the Sky. 2 white, 2 other, sorcery. Each player controls creature with power 4 or greater, draws a card, then destroy all creatures. You want to nuke them, man. You want to kind of sucker them in. You're going to have your walls out there from your Birth of Meletis, and when they start putting a few things out thinking it's safe, like, aha, this guy doesn't have anything, it's Shatter the Sky. Sky falls, baby. Bye. Alright. Next, 4 Wanderer. Okay? This is from War of the Spark. 1 white, 3 other. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you by other permanents, dealt to you and other permanents you control. Exile creature power 4 or greater, -2. But this stops emblem effects. I found out when I was using this, somebody tried to use Narset out of the way on me with the 2 damage over and over and over. I took no damage, man. This stops those effects from happening in the game. But it has a secondary effect. We're going to get there. The secondary effect that goes with this card is Command the Dreadhorde. If you have the Wanderer out, you can bring back everything from everyone's graveyards and take no damage because you receive no non-combat damage. So you can just pump it all out. So there's 4 of those in there and 2 Command the Dreadhorde. Command the Dreadhorde lets you bring back planeswalkers and creatures from any graveyard. So even if their graveyard survives, late in the game you've burned out their counterspells, Command the Dreadhorde is your kind of end step if things are not going the way you want. But there's 4 Wanderers in there because you're going to face a lot of bigger creatures now because of what Ikoria has done. Okay, a lot of these creatures get big very fast. This is your way of dealing with them on a singular basis, okay? Singular. And don't sacrifice it to cast another one if you can help it, because you only have 4 and you need it for Command the Dreadhorde late in the game. Okay, next up, I only have 1 so far, Extinction Event. 1 black, 3 other, it's from Ikoria. Choose odds or even. Exile each creature you control, convert it mana cost of that chosen value. So odd or even creatures. Okay, a lot of these decks have companion guys, and they're pumping these things out. But this will help even the playing field. I only have 1 right now. I'd like to have 2, but I have 1. Elspeth Conquers Death. I have 2 of these. It is 2 casting, 2 white, 3 others, so a 5 casting cost total. Exile target permanent opponent controls, convert mana cost 3 or greater. This is getting rid of that Chandra's Spitfire, getting rid of some nasty planeswalkers you can't deal with, like a Nissa who pops out early on. This is your way of dealing with them. Then the non-creature spell. Now, the last one, which is return target creature to the battlefield, you only, I don't know in case you guys didn't notice, you only have the Enforcers. They're the only creatures in your deck. I know, but that's all the creatures you have. So, 2 Enforcers is the only creatures in your battlefield, which is awesome, because when you're playing against other players who are depending on creatures to come out, like Essence Scatter, counter target creature spell. Those spells are dead. They're not going to be using them on this deck. Alright. 4 planar cleansings. 3 white, 3 other, 6 casting cost. Destroy all non-land permanents. This is when you got to wipe the board. They've got too much stuff coming. They got too many planeswalkers out. Too many enchantments you can't deal with. This is you ready to say, bye-bye! I can't love you, bye-bye! And they just do the whole board. Okay. Realm Cloak Giants. Now, particularly with Shadow the Sky and Realm Cloak Giants. Planar Cleansing does not kill non-land things. So if they have a Nissa out, and they're starting to pump out the 3/3 creatures with the land, you gotta use a Realm Cloak Giant, or you gotta use the Shadow of the Sky. So I reserve those for those times. Right? Let creatures build up, then wipe it out. Don't forget, the Realm Cloak Giant has an adventure spell. He does come back to the 7/7 later if you need him. I almost never get him out, though. That's not how I win the game. And we're gonna get there. Okay. The rest of this is land. 2 Temples of Silence, 4 Scoured Barrens, because I don't have all the lands I need. 1 Godless Shrine, because that's all I had. 6 Swamp, 2 Castle Lockwain, so you can draw cards if you need to. 6 Plains, 4 Castle Ardenvale. Because you are bringing out creatures with that. You are wiping the board clean. At the end of a turn, you are resummoning a 1/1 creature. I peck people to death with this deck. I just peck with 1/1s. And I don't care if I wipe the board clean, because I'll make more. Their decks are finite. They have a certain amount of creature cards to win with. When this guy, I've had guys bring out that Cyberclaw guy, get half my deck gone. I wipe the board clean twice, right? Before I can get rid of Thassa usually. And then all I do is say, oh, now you have nothing? I build a 1/1. Next turn, build a 1/1. Now you're taking 2, then you're taking 3. It's just like you're facing Chandra, right? It's just like you're just building those token amounts of damage. This deck works very well, guys. I mean, it is very smooth. So I want you guys, I wanted to share this with you guys. I know I haven't put a video up with the deck in play. I will do that for you, but I'm telling you, it plays very well. I will have some deck battles done up, probably a best 2 out of 3s, right? I'll do 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row type thing, so you can see how the deck plays against various decks. But I'm telling you, Ikoria is all beastie, and people are mutating monsters up, but it's so defeatable with a simple deck that costs a couple of bucks to make. That's how scary it is. So, although Ikoria has some very cool cards, and the way they've mixed it, what I've seen players mix it so far, it is very defeatable. It is beating a lot of the other decks I build, but it is not beating this deck. And I can tell players get frustrated because they try to drag the game out and say, ooh, right? Or they give up right away when I do the first board wipe because they've lost 3 of their best, 4 of their best creatures, and they realize they've blown out, they have 2 cards left, I still have 6. Right? And they don't know how they're ever going to come back from that. So, but it's funny, Castle Ardenvale is one that wins it for you because it makes little creatures. And of course, the General Enforcer, get them out later in the game and start taking creatures from their graveyard that have escaped your Elspeth's Nightmares. Right? Because you want to get rid of those creatures out of the battlefield. And if all else fails, late in the game, you command the Dread Horde with, hopefully, having a Wanderer out, you take no damage. You bring back a whole swath of creatures that they didn't expect. Especially if you can time it with, the end, Realm Cloak Giant, they can't do anything. Or Shadow of the Sky, they can't do anything. And then on your next turn, they couldn't do anything that turn because they have no cards left. Then you go with the Dread Horde. Maybe you go down to low life, but maybe they have life linkers or something you're going to bring back with those. It's very cool. Anyway, I thought I would just share it with you guys. I was very impressed with how this deck plays in particular. It's not a normal deck I would build, but me and my son were horsing around saying, hey, why don't we do a deck like this? And it just works. And some of this is just, I don't know, my mind just... It's like it gave birth to a baby. It's a very impressive deck, I'm telling you. So, I'm sharing with you guys first. We'll see if this gets a lot of views from you guys. Love to have your comments in the comment section in case I've missed something. But looking forward to it. Guys, have a great day. MTG Moxman, I'm out of here. New to the channel, please subscribe and support. In case you made it that long. And the end of the phrase for Army of Darkness today will be... Good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. It's a great line in that movie. Alright guys, cheers.